Okay. All right, well, first, I'll tell you a little bit about Running Tide and how it came to be in Iceland. So, Running Tide is developing the tools, techniques, and infrastructure to intervene in the ocean to restore the natural carbon balance of the world. Sounds like a really big idea, and it is. But I'll tell you a little bit about how we came to be in Iceland. And I came from a commercial fishing family on both sides of my family in Maine in the United States. And maybe 10, 11 years ago, the family business was maybe in a place where we'd been left behind a little bit by the technological innovations in the fishing industry, and we'd seen the fishery decline quite a bit. And in order to rebuild the business, we had to look around the world to see what were the best practices. And for us, Iceland was like the light. And I got to come up here and see how people prosecuted the fisheries here, and to be exposed to the innovation and the resilience and the adaptability of the fishery here was truly remarkable. And we ended up adopting and adapting a bunch of the techniques, whether it's on the vessels or how we approached our markets. We brought what we learned up here back to Maine, and it helped us reimagine our business at home and transform our business and enable us to sell that business and move on from it. But coming in contact with the innovative spirit here and just how advanced technologically people had taken the management and prosecution of marine resources was like truly inspiring to me. And when we moved out of the fisheries business, I thought, I'd always known that carbon removal was something I wanted to work on. And I actually imagined Running Tide as an Icelandic company. Like, how can, I want to build a company that has that innovative spirit, is developing new technologies, engaging with the ocean in such a positive way, and managing the ocean resources. Instead of being the fish resources, it would be the carbon resources in a really positive way. So, when I started Running Tide in 2017, and there wasn't much of a carbon removal market, but we started anyway. And over a few years, we developed a wonderful system where we take the 3 natural carbon removal pathways that happen in the ocean. So terrestrial biomass flowing into the ocean and sinking to the deep sea. The dissolution of limestone in the water, which buffers acidification and helps move carbon into the inorganic cycle. And finally, the enhancing the biological pump, so growing macroalgae and sinking that into the deep sea. And we figured out a system where we could combine all 3 of those to hopefully someday move gigatons of carbon into deep ocean reservoirs. So over a few years, we developed this system, and then we had the opportunity to actually look for, okay, where are we going to stand this up? We've developed the system, we've done experiments, we know it works. Where are we going to build this? And to have the opportunity to meet Kjartan and David and Kitty and the whole transition team, and move Running Tide to become Running Tide Iceland and stand up our operations, our first production scale operations here is like beyond a dream. I can't. It's amazing to come full circle and remember, 11 years ago when we were coming up here for the first time to see the innovative fisheries technologies, and it's, I've been ecstatic to kind of expand the scope of my understanding of Iceland as a society, and see how progressive the government is, see how forward-thinking they are, see how innovative, the innovative spirit extends well beyond fisheries and into the tech scene. And I just want to first express thank you to everyone in Iceland for being so supportive and for giving us a place to start, because I think that, just as Iceland has led in fisheries, I think that it's now taking the lead in carbon, the new carbon economy, and I think that it's going to lead the world once again in managing these the carbon resources in the ocean. So very excited about that. So the challenge in front of us with carbon is pretty immense, right? We've moved from the slow carbon cycle to the fast carbon cycle, 660 gigatons of carbon dioxide, and it's wreaking havoc. And now we have to find a way to move all of that material, all of that carbon dioxide, back from the fast cycle, which is the atmosphere in the ocean, top layer of the ocean, back into the slow cycle. And 600, people talk about these insane numbers, 660 billion tons, just you can't even put your mind around it. It's such an astonishing amount of material, but the only place that I've seen that I think is a realistic reservoir for that amount of material, over the next 20 or 30, 40 years, is the ocean. The deep ocean has 37,000 billion tons of carbon dioxide, and if we need to move 660 into the slow cycle. So I think that it's a reservoir that can sustain that level of mass. Moving that amount of mass, it's going to happen through significant industrial activity. And whether that be, direct air capture machines and injecting it underground, or it's going to be moving material from land out to sea and accumulating more mass through kelp. It's going to take a tremendous amount of effort, a tremendous amount of intelligence and innovation just at every step of the way. We're going to initiate these activities, and then we're going to adapt over and over and over again as we learn more, just as we've done in fisheries. I see a very similar path where, every time somebody goes fishing, they have to adapt to the new information they see. They have to adapt to the environment, make changes, and I see, that's the path forward for intervening in these climate systems. We initiate the activity, we put a bunch of sensors out there, we measure what happens, and then we adapt and move forward. I've come across this really beautiful saying, and I'll probably butcher it, but it's a "thetaretast." It's this, this Icelandic saying that I find. I don't need to explain it to you, but I have to explain it to people at home. But I find that just a really inspiring way forward, right? We move forward with positive intent towards the world. We move forward boldly, and we just adapt and accumulate the resources and accumulate the learnings as we move forward. Make sure we're making all the proper adjustments as we're intervening in these systems to make sure that all the good things that we want to happen and none of the bad things happen. And maybe I don't have the saying exactly quite right, but I feel like even thus far, in our journey into Iceland and standing up our effort here, I feel like that's, we move forward with a tremendous amount of trust in Kjartan and David and our partners here in government, and things are working themselves out. We're working through it every day. We're accumulating amazing people. Like Kitty, where's Kitty? And Miko, our first employees here, and I think that I've been really excited to just continue to see that the innovative spirit here is going to help us lead the world forward into a way to manage these climate systems in a positive way and lead us to a future that we actually want to live in, rather than one of nothing but decline. I feel like there's a lot of hope on the horizon for us. So Anyway, I think, in closing, I just want to say that the best, the ocean is our partner. It's a partner here for Iceland. It's a partner for coastal communities around the world. We've seen a lot of decline. The world is inspired by, you may not know this, but the coastal communities around the world are inspired by the example Iceland has set and for how to manage these resources, and we're going to extend that into this, management of the ocean carbon cycle as well. And I want to thank everyone for the support we've received thus far, and I'm sure that we'll see in the future, and hope we can all learn together and make the world a better place. So, thank you.